This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Missed target. Some Nova Scotia universities face a loss of funding for failing to fill up their campus residences. Town meeting. Hundreds gather in Kentville to voice their concerns about the community's homeless situation. And upgrade. The 120-year-old Indigenous Town Hall is set to undergo major accessibility renovations.
The coldest weekend so far this season with wicked wind chills will end with another significant snowstorm. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. It's been a challenging school year for Nova Scotia universities. Most are facing financial pressure and big drops in international student enrollment. Now, some schools are facing a potential loss of funding dollars from the province. That's because they didn't hit a provincially imposed target to fill up their campus residencies. Shayna Luck has that story.
Last April, all of Nova Scotia's 10 universities signed funding agreements with the province. And to get full funding, the schools committed to filling their residences to at least 95%. It was an effort to increase student housing, and millions of dollars are on the line. St. Francis Xavier University, for example, stood to lose out on $1.1 million.
Well, it's a big deal. That amount of revenue swing is a significant thing for any university, especially in these times.
St. FX has been working to attract students with measures like more staff in residence and clustering single rooms in the same wing. The school is feeling fortunate it surpassed the 95% target for filling residences. But that is not the case at Acadia University in Wolfville, where another $1 million is at stake. Their residences were 85% full last fall, and that dropped to 82% this winter. Part of that is the drop in international students. But for many years, Acadia has been in the high 80s to low 90s, says their director of residence.
It's really something that's sort of in line with what our housing strategy has been historically, which is to have more space than we need to make sure that we have space for anybody that needs it.
Acadia believes it can raise those numbers by doing things like renovating kitchens and offering more flexible meal plans, and it has another year to do so. The same is true for universities like Mount St. Vincent and the University of St. Anne. They're also below the 95% target and facing a possible penalty of hundreds of thousands of dollars. St. Anne told me in an email this will likely mean negative consequences for them. Meanwhile, this student organization says students often decide that residence and meal plans are too costly to be worth it.
Those are all things that make living in residence a barrier or a challenge for some students.
But he also thinks if the schools lose provincial funding over this, the people who will have to make up that money are the students.
If that keeps happening, then students are just going to keep having to foot the bill of universities, and it's just going to get more and more expensive.
Shayna Luck, CBC News, Halifax.
First Nation chiefs across Atlantic Canada are calling for an urgent meeting with the federal government after 2 Indigenous men were fatally shot by RCMP officers over the past 2 weeks. The chiefs issued a statement saying they have serious concerns following the death of a man on the Nugotcook First Nation in New Brunswick and on Sunday, and another death last week in Nova Scotia where police shot a man from Sabaganagadi First Nation following a highway pursuit. Both cases were being investigated by the police oversight agency responsible for Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. The chiefs say there's been an erosion of trust in the police watchdog, and they're concerned about the lack of Indigenous perspective in the agency's investigations. Some people are more optimistic than others about what's being done to address the growing homelessness population in Kentville. There was a packed house for a public meeting Thursday night where a panel of experts tried to answer residents' concerns and questions, but there were some tense moments. The CBC's Josh Hoffman was there.
More than 250 people showed up to the Kentville Fire Hall Thursday night to hear what's being done about the homeless situation that some residents believe is getting out of control. The event was organized by local MLA John Lohr and the Downtown Kentville Business Association. The panel responded to questions about public safety and whether or not the local shelter is attracting more homeless people to the town.
How we gathered those questions was talking to service providers and town members and kind of pulling them together to say this is what people have been asking about.
Questions were supposed to be written down on Post-it notes under certain themes, but some in attendance didn't wait to have their questions answered, directly addressing the panel.
I don't believe that anyone has an issue with the homeless people and wanting to help them, but I do believe it is, as one of the speakers had spoke to, is the gap, and it's the individuals that have the severe mental illness along with the severe drug addiction that also are homeless, and I do believe those are the individuals that this town is more concerned about.
Several people experiencing homelessness in Kentville were also in attendance, and some of them took exception to comments being made by the public.
Beaten by a man from the community.
Some downtown business owners have complained about loitering or even vandalism to their stores. But Ruth Wright's flower store is right next door to the shelter. She says she's not afraid to go to work every day. In fact, she's gone out of her way to build relationships with those using the shelter, and it's paid off for her.
They come into my shop and break up my boxes for me. I've been entertained with a guitar session on my front window ledge. They carry heavy bags for us to our cars. They help me load up my flower arrangements into my car ready for delivery. And sometimes they give me a hug, and I love that.
Kentville Police Deputy Chief Ken Reid also spoke at the meeting Thursday night. He says calls for service have increased in recent years, and a lot of those are related to activity in the downtown, but crime hasn't gone up. He asked residents to think of the difference between feeling unsafe and feeling uncomfortable, and sometimes we're fearful of something we don't understand. Josh Hoffman, CBC News, Kentville.
Nova Scotia is more than halfway through a 5-year plan to overhaul support for people with disabilities. And an interim report from government reveals it's lagging behind. Among the missed targets are those for moving people out of institutions and into community and for reducing wait times for services. The Disability Rights Coalition remains hopeful the targets will be met by the final deadline in 2028, but are also looking for an assessment that goes beyond the numbers.
The metrics are one thing, but it's the experiences that people are having that are as important or more important, because we don't want the province to check a box for the sake of checking a box. We want to make sure that people are truly having a better life and are provided with opportunity and choice.
The province says it's proud of what it's done so far and is confident it will achieve the plan's ultimate goals on time. The 120-year-old town hall in Antigonish is undergoing a refresh. Municipal officials are pushing to make the building accessible. As Brett Ruskin reports, it's in an effort to lead by example and show businesses how to make buildings welcoming to everyone.
The town hall building in Antigonish is 120 years old.
It's an old building with old plumbing, old electrical, and certainly not designed with accessibility in mind.
The mayor says it lacks accessible washrooms, an elevator, the front door has stone steps, and the accessible entrance makes visitors use another building's driveway to get to the door.
You'll notice we have a sign on the building showing that the accessible entrance is actually a side entrance. So if you're in a wheelchair or need other assistance device, you actually come around the building, and you'll see this is actually a driveway. We have a slight delineation here of a walkway.
Yeah.
So the town does have an easement for people to come up along here, but it is an active driveway right next to it, and here's our accessible entrance.
Town officials are now hiring a company to redesign the layout to make it accessible.
And so at the end of the day, if I can enter a building, someone else should be able to enter the building the same way. Having different entrances brings us back centuries.
Another issue is the offices spread across all 3 floors.
Under the new circumstances, we could just have someone who, with any level of ability or accessibility, just come in for a meeting.
And we would have them all on the main floor. Or, maybe the design has elevators.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what the design is going to result in.
The town hopes they can be an example for other individuals and businesses throughout the region.
And if we can do it to a 120-year-old building, we're hoping that will translate to other businesses, owners, that make their place accessible as well.
And Ryan's here with the first look at the weather, and I almost want to close my eyes at those temperatures that are coming. Bit of a deep freeze we're entering.
Yeah, this is the coldest air so far this season, working its way in just in time for the weekend. We have cold warnings in effect for New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and northern Nova Scotia. This is where wind chill values are most likely to dip to near minus 30. Snow squall watch in effect northern Cape Breton, and a winter storm watch in effect for southwest Nova Scotia, and a special weather statement in effect elsewhere. That is for the Sunday night, Monday night into Tuesday storm. We'll talk about that in a sec. The wind chills are the headline first, though. Widespread wind chills, minus 20 to minus 30, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and into Sunday morning. This is going to be bitter cold. Frostbite in a hurry with these types of temperatures, and then here comes the storm. And again, this is going to be a long duration event. Lots of time for the snow to add up. We'll talk about that with your full forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, MLAs will return to the Nova Scotia Legislature for the start of the winter sitting on February 23rd. Finance Minister John Lohr will table his 2026-27 budget during the sitting. It's expected to be a challenging budget for the government, as Lohr has already brought in hiring restrictions to slow the growth of the public service. He's also asked department heads to examine the impact of a 10% cut to program grants. Premier Tim Houston revealed last week that the province's budget deficit for this fiscal year is on track to top $1.4 billion. People who work in the lobster industry from both sides of the border are in Moncton this week for the annual U.S.-Canada Lobster Town meeting. About 200 fishermen, processors, industry experts are discussing everything from climate change to tariffs and trade opportunities. Despite ongoing tensions between Canada and the U.S., the atmosphere at the Lobster Industry Conference is pretty friendly.
I mean, maybe if you read the headlines, you might think they're tensions, but I mean, from Maine Lobstermen's perspective, we've been meeting with Canadian fishermen through the Fishermen Scientist Research Society, through the Lobster Town meeting, actually doing like exchanges. We bring lobstermen up to PEI sometime to fish. So for us, it's very cordial.
Last week, China agreed to drop tariffs on several Canadian exports, including lobster. An experimental farm in Cumberland County is being affected by federal cuts. The Nepan Research Farm supports the beef and forage industries in the region. In a statement, Agriculture Agri-Food Canada says 665 employees across the country were notified of job loss on Thursday. The department did not address questions about the future of the Nepan farm, but the Nova Scotia Federation of Agriculture says it is aware of a closure notice at the facility. Residential construction is booming in Cape Breton Regional Municipality, but some officials say that does not mean the housing crisis is over. The CBC's Kyle Moore reports.
The number of international students at Cape Breton University is down by almost 60% this year. Tim Fraser is with the Investment Property Owners Association of Cape Breton. He says as a result, fewer people are looking for a place to rent.
I'm not getting as many emails for vacant properties. I used to be swamped. I used to have pages of emails. Take me 2 or 3 days to go through them all.
Fraser says many requests he's received for housing is from locals. He says that's a big change from just a few years ago.
Oh, it used to be the opposite way. It was at least 10 to 1 for getting messages from out-of-towners looking.
CBRM staff say more than 900 new residential units have been added in the last 2 years, with more than 100 of those deemed affordable.
CBRM had a target of developing 1,000 new units locally, and they have by and large met that target.
Cape Breton University professor Catherine Leviton-Reid is a housing expert. She says new housing is welcome, but with 1,200 people waiting for public housing and with a pallet shelter and a full homeless shelter, all of the new units should have been designated for low-income tenants.
The crisis absolutely isn't over. And again, this is not just about a supply issue. It's about the right kind of supply for the people who are in need in our community. communities. And it's also about putting all kinds of other mechanisms in place to ensure people who are housed aren't losing their housing.
CBRM says to get federal housing money, it committed to building 1,000 new units by the end of 2026. Staff say the funding and reduced red tape has steadily boosted construction over the last 4 years, with a record number of building permits issued in 2025 alone. Kyle Moore, CBC News, Sydney.
Beautiful mural on Quebec Road in Halifax. Ryan is up next.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
And Ryan's back with his full weather forecast and a lot to talk about, I know. But first, let's address the tie.
Well, yes.
That is the perfect tie for you,
This,
is it not?
It's my favorite tie,
Yeah, I know.
for sure. And
you
so,
don't wear it that often.
No, I try and save it for special occasions like Cloud Appreciation Day was the
That's
last
true.
time I wore
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
This time I thought, okay, we're in the depths of winter. We've got the coldest shot so far this winter coming in for the weekend. And a long duration snowstorm coming. 30 to 36 hours is probably going to snow from Sunday night to Tuesday. So I thought let's brighten it up a little bit.
Do whatever you can to cheer us up.
Yeah, okay, so we do have a lot to talk about. Let's have a look at the warnings in case you missed it off the top. So cold warnings in effect, New Brunswick, PEI, and northern Nova Scotia. That's where the wind chills will dip closest to -30 for Saturday morning to Sunday morning. Snow squall watch in effect for northern Inverness, and the winter storm watch in effect for the southwest. As you folks into the mix a little earlier and perhaps a little closer to the center of the storm with the strongest winds most likely in that southwest. Special weather statement in effect elsewhere. We'll see where the warnings end up as we get closer to the event. I mean, this thing is still more than 48 hours out. And again, it's going to be lasting till Tuesday morning. So there's a lot of details to fill in still. We'll get to all that. We've got some flurries blowing through right now. Could see a trace to a couple of centimeters as this front comes through. Behind the front, the northwest winds and the Arctic air, which is plunging southward. Yeah, it is snowing and icing in through Texas right now, northern Texas. -4 in Oklahoma City, 2 in Nashville, and that colder air continues to trudge southward. And the temperatures and the wind chills are wicked all across Canada right now. And as we look at the snowfall outlook for tonight, we're looking at about a trace to a couple of centimeters, as I mentioned. Additional onshore flurries tomorrow, most likely. Shelburne, Yarmouth, Digby, and into the valley and across the North Shore, and most notably in through northern Cape Breton, where 5 to 10 centimeters possible, even 15 possible up into the highlands. Tonight, temperature-wise, -10 to -15, winds gusting 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. Those winds are going to be biting overnight and throughout the day on Saturday. That is going to be a huge factor. Could even see some gusts to 70, as noted by the model here, in through the Tri-County area. Those onshore flurries, as I said, will continue into the afternoon here. So some dirty driving conditions for sure here down the 101 and back towards the Tri-County area. Also looking at the potential for some onshore flurries and maybe a squall or two through Antigonish County, but especially northern Cape Breton. And note those winds still gusting 50, 60, even 70 kilometers per hour through Saturday afternoon. Temperatures Saturday afternoon will actually fall a few degrees from the morning highs, so we'll continue to fall into the afternoon. Northwest winds gusting 50, 60, 70 kilometers per hour, as we said. And so this is what it will feel like when we factor in the wind chill. Plunging overnight by Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, feeling -20 to -30, coolest in through the northeast. And that's really going to be the case even into Sunday. -20 to -30. And those wind chills will ease Sunday afternoon as the temperatures start to rise a little bit into the afternoon. We're going to be looking at highs of -9 to -12 or -13 for the mainland, -12 to -14 for Cape Breton. And with the winds easing, the wind chill values backing off, but still feeling pretty close to -20 to -25 even into Sunday afternoon. Then the storm arrives and it will run into colder air. So this is going to be a fluffier snow for sure. I mean, Monday, most of us were shoveling oatmeal-like snow. This will not be the case this time. This, again, is looking Sunday night, Monday. Either way, no matter how much snow falls, expecting disruptions, travel delays, cancellations on Monday. And then again, notably with this system continuing into Monday evening, maybe some mixing with some ice pellets down toward the southwest of the province. Northeast winds looking set to gust 50, 60, and 70 kilometers per hour. And given the fluffier nature of this snow, blowing and drifting will be more of an issue because that snow will be fluffier. And it is not expected to take off and move out of the region until perhaps Tuesday morning, maybe the noon hour on Tuesday with those final flakes. So we're talking a 30 to 36 hour event where the snow will just slowly add up. So yes, not just shoveling once, twice, 3 times, maybe 4 times. We'll have to be chipping at this. And again, more updates throughout the weekend. I'll have a web story posted probably Sunday morning at cbc.ca/Nova Scotia. Amy.
You're going to be busy.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, and as Ryan just mentioned, a bitter cold snap has descended on Canada with extreme temperatures, which will continue into the weekend, clobbering parts of the country. Well, just how extreme are those temperatures? How does -50 sound? The CBC's Michelle Song has more.
There you go. Bracing for the extreme cold outside, layering up herself and the dogs. Dog walker Helga Oyoung says she's prepared.
I mean, it's Canada. What do you expect, right?
With parts of Canada plunging into a polar vortex, frosty temperatures are settling in and expected to continue. Some regions feeling as low as negative 50 degrees Celsius with wind chill. Environment Canada cautioned those who work outside to take breaks indoors.
Frostbite is a concern when we talk about wind chill. Wind chill values of -30 and below. Skin exposed to the air can develop frostbite as quickly as 30 minutes.
My zipper broke off my jacket. It was so cold out, man.
Manitoba and Saskatchewan and parts of Ontario are now under extreme weather alerts, impacting about 3.5 million people, and shelters across those provinces are now gearing up for an influx of visitors.
During the extreme cold alert is going on right now, we actually allow community members to come in to warm up outside of those drop-in hours and outside of the shelter hours.
But the polar vortex is also driving weather south of the border, as a fierce weekend winter storm is set to reach all the way from the Rockies to New England. At least 160 million people in its path, with more than a dozen states declaring a state of emergency.
This is a very dangerous combination of heavy snow and extreme cold temperatures.
Power crews are working overtime, workers salting roads, and groceries are flying off the shelves.
So I'm just getting the little essentials that we need because I'm not coming outside.
The extreme cold will continue into the weekend, and while it's too early to predict the exact track of the U.S. storm, it could bring more snow to eastern and Atlantic Canada. Michelle Song, CBC News, Toronto.
Coming up, the negative impacts of smoking and how smoking rates in Nova Scotia compare to the rest of the country. This is National Non-Smoking Week. It's an annual campaign to educate Canadians about the negative health effects of smoking and help them quit. Heather Mulligan is the Senior Manager of Advocacy and Strategic Initiatives with the Canadian Cancer Society based in Halifax. So starting off, how does Nova Scotia stack up with the rest of the country when it comes to smoking rates?
Well, we've seen progress in Nova Scotia when it comes to our smoking use. It's important to remember tobacco does remain the leading preventable cause of cancer and disease in our province. Tragically, it takes 1,800 Nova Scotians from us each year, and it costs our healthcare system nearly $210 million in direct healthcare costs. When compared to the rest of Canada, we have 14% of Nova Scotians continue to smoke, compared to 11% nationally. And so during this week, it's really important for us to know that we have work to do while we're still making progress.
Generationally, where are you finding the most smokers?
Well, when you consider back in 1965, nearly half of Canadians smoked, we're making significant progress on bringing that rate down, and we have a national goal of achieving less than 5% use by 2035. But we do need to make more progress on that goal, especially when we consider that 14% of Nova Scotians continue to smoke. It is one of those preventable causes of disease and illness. And so we've been calling on the government of Nova Scotia to take a more comprehensive as well as progressive approach to bringing down those rates, not only among tobacco users, but especially in this next generation of Nova Scotians who are becoming addicted to nicotine through vaping.
Right. The rates among young people, what are you seeing?
Well, what we've heard is that nearly half of Nova Scotia youth in high school have tried vaping at least once. And we actually have, the national average, the highest average in Canada when it comes to youth use of vaping products. And so we have an epidemic in our schools and our classrooms across this province with young people being addicted to a product that legally they're not able to even purchase. And it's a really difficult habit to kick once you start. And so we've been calling the government of Nova Scotia to look at our youth vaping situation in this province and consider alternative policy measures and supports for young people, not only to prevent them from starting, but also having those earlier interventions when it comes to education and awareness. But we also want to see more Nova Scotians broadly, whether they vape or smoke, get the supports they need to quit the habit altogether. And so adopting similar approaches as we've seen in British Columbia or Prince Edward Island in providing cessation, universal cessation support. So whether that be, enhanced counseling and peer support, or even covering the cost of nicotine replacement therapies like lozenges, gums, sprays, patches, and even prescriptions. We have an opportunity in front of us in this province, not only to bring down our smoking and our vaping rates, but do so at no additional cost to Nova Scotians through the funds that we will be receiving at least over the next 20 years through the tobacco settlement lawsuit.
Well, what has the reaction been to your proposal?
Well, we certainly know that there's more to be done. So Nova Scotia right now stands to receive upwards of $785 million over the next 20 to 40 years from tobacco companies through the lawsuits that we settled last year for the harms that tobacco has caused to Nova Scotia, to Nova Scotians, and to our healthcare system. Now, it's a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Those funds can be reinvested directly into our healthcare system, and specifically three things. One, enhancing and expanding cessation supports so that more people who are in a position or are ready to quit can quit. So again, things like we just talked about, providing free nicotine replacement therapies and prescriptions, enhancing and expanding the supports and the peer supports for people who want to quit. It also means looking at, earlier interventions for young people, and so that we can, support the next generation of Nova Scotians from not starting nicotine in the first place. And so that includes things like increasing the purchase age from 19 to 21, like we've seen in Prince Edward Island, and we've seen in several states and nationally in the United States. This also includes other things like enhanced education and supports in schools so that teachers can focus on teaching rather than managing nicotine addiction. And finally, we need to also work on our enforcement and invest some of these funds on creating more enforcement tools, measures, and policies, and so that the province can enforce legislation we currently have, but also make sure that, we have better compliance.
And if all of those things came into being, do you think that's what would get you to having rates below 5% in the next decade?
It is, we have to use every tool in our toolbox. There's not going to be one single silver bullet when it comes to tobacco and vaping use and nicotine use, generally speaking. We know the dreadful and the harm that it has caused not only to people and to our healthcare system, but to our province. The tobacco lawsuit is an example of that. You know, we held the companies accountable for those harms, but we also know that it costs taxpayers every single year $210 million in direct healthcare costs due to tobacco use. And if we don't do something to slow or reduce those rates, it's going to continue to grow. And so what we've been doing is calling on the government of Nova Scotia to look at its sister provinces and look nationally and assume that leadership role that we once had in the tobacco control space and really ask, what kind of future generation of Nova Scotia do we want? What kind of conditions do we want Nova Scotians to live in? And what can we do, especially when we have this windfall money coming from the tobacco companies? What can we do to reinvest that so we can bring down taxes and healthcare costs due to tobacco, provide the tools to quit to Nova Scotians today, but also develop and adopt those policies that will eliminate tobacco and nicotine use amongst the next generation of Nova Scotians.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Amy.
Coming up, the latest on an undiagnosed neurological disease in New Brunswick that has baffled experts for years. And the cabinet retreat continues in Quebec City ahead of a return to Parliament next week. Welcome back. New Brunswick's Chief Medical Officer of Health has released the final report from an investigation into cases of undiagnosed neurological illness. The CBC's Silas Brown has the details.
An investigation into undiagnosed neurological illnesses found that environmental substances like heavy metals and herbicides are likely not behind the symptoms. The province's Chief Medical Officer of Health says that all available evidence points to the illnesses being known existing syndromes, not a new mystery illness.
When we have now looked at the evidence and multiple pieces of evidence that have accumulated since, I think we can now certainly state that there isn't any evidence that we've seen, that I've seen to date, that certainly suggests the existence of an unknown condition.
The province first began investigating a cluster of 48 patients identified by neurologist Dr. Ali Marrero in 2021. That investigation found no evidence of an illness linking the cases together. In 2023, Marrero raised concerns that environmental contaminants like the widely used herbicide glyphosate were showing up in his patients, and Public Health decided to review his work beginning in March 2025. Public Health found significant limitations in the data gathered by Marrero. Legislature said that included issues with patient samples and a lack of follow-up testing.
We encountered significant limitations that did affect our ability to provide definitive answers to some questions. However, we're still able to conclude that our investigation does not find evidence of a widespread issue among this patient group. Therefore, we don't feel that exposure to these substances is a contributing factor to most patients' illnesses.
A number of patients were given the findings on a private call with Premier Susan Holt and Health Minister John Dornan. Patient representative Sarah Nesbitt says that there are still remaining questions, but is hopeful that additional investigation will follow.
There is more work to do, continue pushing, and Dr. Dornan and Susan Holt are open to continuing working with us. But a lot of patients do feel frustrated and very concerned that nothing's going to happen for help. So we just hope that it continues to push in the direction of hope and preventing this from happening in the future.
Recommendations coming out of the investigation include having 2 specialists sign off on a report of undiagnosed neurological illnesses and that patients get help in looking for alternate diagnoses for their illnesses. Now the investigation will shift to the Public Health Agency of Canada, who was asked by the province to review individual patient data. That requires patient consent, and no timeline for that investigation has been set.
Sovereignty, trade, and security were the topics at day 2 of the federal cabinet retreat in Quebec City. All have been spotlighted by Donald Trump's year-long assault on Canada. His latest broadside was rescinding Mark Carney's invitation to the U.S. President's Board of Peace. The CBC's Olivia Stefanovich has the story.
What did you hear about the invitation rescinded? The Prime Minister arrived for a final day of cabinet planning meetings to a barrage of reporters' questions after U.S. President Donald Trump announced he's withdrawing Mark Carney's invitation from the Gaza Board of Peace. The escalation just hours after the Prime Minister pushed back against Trump's rebuke at the World Economic Forum.
Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements.
Canada doesn't live because of the United States. Canada thrives because we are Canadian.
Leaving the state of relations between the two countries on shaky ground.
Alberta is a wealth of natural resources, but they won't let him build a pipeline to the Pacific.
As the U.S. Treasury Secretary goads Alberta separatism.
Rumor that they may have a referendum on whether they want to stay in Canada or not.
Sounds like you may know something up there.
People are saying, people are talking. People are talking.
The response from Cabinet?
Canada survives because of what Canadians do.
Careful not to increase tensions any further.
We have a strong economy to make the decisions that keep our country sovereign. And that does not mean that you reply to any comment.
And if this country wants to survive and thrive, we're going to have to find ways of overcoming these kinds of differences.
And according to one of the experts who was invited to speak to Cabinet, it also means changing the way the federal government works drastically.
The biggest challenge is to act fast in a responsible way, but fast. We have to pick up the pace in Canada because the world is moving so quickly. It can't be business as usual.
Carney will brief the Liberal caucus on the plan moving forward over the weekend before Parliament returns from its winter break on Monday, and the Prime Minister prepares to meet with premiers later in the week. Olivia Stefanovic, CBC News, Quebec City.
The United Nations Human Rights Council has held an emergency session on recent protests in Iran, with the body's High Commissioner denouncing the government's crackdown.
I call on the Iranian authorities to reconsider, to pull back, and to end their brutal repression.
This is the worst mass murder in the contemporary history of Iran. Our beautiful country
says there were at least 4,500 confirmed deaths during the protests, with another 9,000 under review. Donald Trump announced on Thursday U.S. warships heading towards the Middle East. He said the U.S. was watching Iran very closely. An autopsy suggests that a Canadian whose body was found on an Australian beach surrounded by dingoes likely drowned. Piper James of Campbell River, BC, had gone for an early morning swim on the eastern island of K'gari on Monday. A preliminary assessment found the 19-year-old's body showed physical evidence of drowning. The report also said that although there were pre-mortem bites, the most significant injuries likely happened after death. The coroner's office is still awaiting pathology results, which could take several weeks. An investigation from the Fifth Estate is exposing why the number of black boys have gone missing from around Toronto. Co-host Mark Kelly shows how they wind up far from home on the front lines of a dangerous drug trade.
In communities across Ontario, black boys are going missing.
No child is off limits. Please, come home.
For months, the Fifth Estate has been investigating how Toronto area street gangs are routinely exploiting black boys to work the drug trade. O'Shea Stewart is a specialized school counselor who tries to keep kids in school.
Do you think that black kids are more vulnerable?
Definitely. I would say anybody in a marginalized community is more vulnerable.
The boys are being used as mules to transport and sell illegal drugs in Northern Ontario communities. As many as 20 organized drug networks from Toronto are operating in Thunder Bay.
We have children who are involved in this. Is there a draw? Is there a coercion? Is there an exploitation?
The gangs are now moving boys further north, left to fend for themselves. Ganoogaming is a First Nation community of 200, 3.5 hours northeast of Thunder Bay.
How in the world did they even get here?
Chief Sherry Taylor says 2 teenagers from Brampton, Ontario, were dropped off on the reserve in the fall to sell drugs at this house. 2 local men later confronted them.
A dispute ensued, shots rang out. 1 man was killed, the other badly wounded. And that's when the boys from Brampton ran for their lives.
The teens were both charged with second-degree murder and attempted murder. One of the accused is just 15 years old. Advocate Shayna McCullough is calling on charges for those who lure the boys.
I think that anybody who's caught in a room with drugs and weapons with a 15, 14-year-old boy should be charged with human trafficking.
One father, whose identity we're protecting for fear of retribution, drove to Thunder Bay to find his son, and he has a message for the adults who recruited him.
You guys are cowards. You know the laws. You know what it is. Do it yourself.
In the meantime, more boys are being lured into the life, getting on buses and heading north, unaware of the danger that awaits them. Mark Kelly, CBC News, Toronto.
Marineland is seeking government approval to sell its remaining whales and dolphins to facilities in the U.S. The now closed Ontario theme park says that if its application is rejected, the animals will be euthanized. Lisa Shing has more.
A former bustling theme park, Marineland now sits empty, save for 30 beluga whales and 4 dolphins, who could soon have new homes in U.S. aquariums.
These facilities that are proposed are amazing facilities.
Former Marineland beluga trainer Christy Burgess supports the park's request to the federal government to send the marine mammals to 4 different locations: SeaWorld, Georgia Aquarium in Atlanta, Shed Aquarium in Chicago, and Mystic Aquarium in Connecticut, none of which have formally committed to taking them.
The reality is where they are right now is not a great scenario. They're being threatened with death. I'd rather chance a life somewhere else than risk that.
The amusement park and zoo in Niagara Falls, Ontario closed to the public 2 years ago, leaving the future of the remaining animals uncertain. Last fall, Marineland threatened to euthanize them after Ottawa denied permits to send them to an aquarium in China. CBC News has learned the park is threatening that again if an imminent deadline isn't met to approve their latest application.
As long as there's strong conditions on any export permits that accord with Canadian law so that there can't be any breeding of the whales and dolphins, and they can't be forced to be in performances.
This animal rights activist says she prefers they go to a sanctuary, but a proposed location off the coast of Nova Scotia is years away and may not be the best environment for animals used to captivity, says this researcher.
The reality is that animals that we care for, they need to be mentally stimulated, they need to be engaged. Otherwise, they will get depressed.
The Department of Fisheries and Oceans says it's reviewing Marineland's application. And for a crumbling park reportedly running out of resources, many experts say time is of the essence. Lisa Shing, CBC News, Toronto.
New research in Antarctica indicates that climate change is leading penguins to breed earlier in the season. This trend could put the birds on a collision course with each other. Inayat Singh explains.
A colony of penguins on an Antarctic island dramatically shifting their behavior in the face of climate change.
We don't know whether to be happy or very sad yet, but for now we're alarmed.
The big change, the birds are breeding earlier, a shift that's happening at record speed. Ignacio Martinez led a decade-long study on 3 species of Antarctic penguins. The sweeping survey relied on time-lapse cameras monitoring 37 colonies of penguins in a region warming 3 times faster than the rest of the world. All 3, Gentoo, Chinstrap and Adderley, moved up their breeding seasons. Gentoo's had the biggest change, 13 days earlier on average, and up to 24 days for some colonies.
When we looked at the time series of 10 years, one after the other, we realized like, oh, damn, this is the fastest change in any vertebrate ever.
Shifting breeding patterns could help some species adapt to climate change and has been seen in other plants and animals. But it's not good news for all, and that could pit penguin species against each other over scarce food and land.
So if we only have one species, the chances that the species survives is very scarce.
Martinez says the findings suggest there could be winners and losers of climate change, but overall, it paints a concerning picture for the future of Antarctic penguins. Inayat Singh, CBC News, Toronto.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
Well, if you didn't think it felt like winter, just wait till the weekend. First the freezing cold and then the snow.
Then we're going to add on the more snow, yes. And this one, again, is looking like such a long duration event. That's why totals will really have a chance to add up. Unlike the last system, this one is looking fluffier.
Okay, well,
which
that's some good news.
Better for shoveling, not as good for snowmen and snow fort and other objects, as you will see here. Have a look at our viewer picture of the day. This is from Mount Uniacke, and yes, that snow that fell on Monday was so nice for building structures, and this from Paula and Andy
Very peaceful.
George. Absolutely. And Paula saying the neighbors always want to know what her husband Andy will get up to in the front yard there with the snow sculptures. When it is so nice to build with, which of course Monday was. But Andy will have a tougher time with the next one coming in. Here's the forecast for Saturday. Temperatures -11 to -17 in the afternoon. We'll actually start a little bit milder. Can I really say that?
I don't think so.
-10 to 14 in the morning, falling a few degrees into the afternoon. Those winds gusting 40, 50, 60, 70 kilometers per hour. Sunday, lighter winds, still gusting 20 to 30, but the wind chill won't be nearly as much of a factor for Sunday. There are the wind chills that are going to be widespread -20 to -30 from Saturday afternoon right through to Sunday morning. Quick look at this system that's going to be coming through, and can't stress enough, it's the duration of the event that will cause it to be more significant than anything we've seen, I think, so far this season, and just that it's going to be impactful from Sunday evening in the extreme southwest, but more so Sunday night, Monday morning, Monday afternoon, Monday night, and yes, even into Tuesday morning, perhaps a 36-hour event.
Wow, it's getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, cows may be smarter than we thought. Have a look at this. Veronica is a cow in Austria, and she's figured out how to scratch her own back. She's using a brush on a long stick, and it's the first time a cow has been documented using tools, and she's forcing scientists to rethink what they know about bovine intelligence.
We like to see what happens if you give her a hockey stick.
Or maybe a shovel.
Or a shovel, yeah, absolutely.
That's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great weekend.